Alright, so I am just a Texas girl who saw New York sky art and I'm attempting to recreate it for a friend of mine. I was promising a video by the end of this month, and so here it is. As I'm showing, I have a poster board with a glossy side and a cut edge. This is actually a bigger poster board cut in half, and I use different types of spray paints. I do use Krylon with sometimes primer and gloss and such like that, but I always use glossy. And for the paintings, I just layer a base color, such right here is green, and I take other portions, like, and I can show that I'm not able to figure out which color I want at the moment. I don't color code my cans and they get spray all over them, so I can't see what they are. But I've taken an orange and I'm trying to get a good color mixture to them. It looks like I'm taking a lot of color over the tops, but I promise it does come out awesome in the end. And unfortunately, I don't take only 6 minutes. This is actually a 10-minute video, and I apologize if there's some silence in between. As you see, I put a little bit of wet on top. Take a bit of paper, crumple it as much as you can to make it more of a older feel to it and gives air pockets, and scrape along the paper and it'll pull from the bottom color up. Told you it would look awesome. And as you see, there's a basis. There's a reason it's not all over where I've sprayed color, and I am so indecisive because I keep forgetting colors. Alright, take a little bit of black, and this helps with the shading process. It looks just 1D right now. I'm making it a little bit of a 3D effect. Not all of my paintings have this. It's because I am so indecisive I can't figure out what I'm doing. Give a little bit of opposite on the other end. Make sure I don't put too little. And you take a simple bowl, pan lid, anything you can that has a circular edge, and place. And of course I get dirty in the process, but that's why we wear gloves and an apron. Next set. For next planet, I am taking, I believe it's an orange. Yep, orange. Making sure I have nothing on my paper. Give a nice base coat. And next I'm taking a black, I believe, and I'm going to spritz around, and my cameraman is going to move around for me to try to give you a better view while I work. So I have to shake up the cans while I'm working because otherwise they just settle and then it just comes out bad. So I spritz a little bit black here and there, not all over, for a reason. I know yellow is a very odd color on top of that, but it works out in the end. And I'm trying to get faster because I know my camera likes to run out of space, so if you see a little bit of jerking in it, it's only because the camera actually ran out of room and I needed to switch memory. But here it is again. I only do it once because it actually came out perfect the first time. I really need to start color coding my cans. I give the same effect of the black on the same side, trying to make it, again, 3D. And that's when I also do mistakes. I am human. But nothing spray paint can't cover up itself. I realized that I needed a little bit more color because the lid I chose was a little too small. And now looking back on it, I really didn't even get a lot of the black in there, but the end product always looks good anyway. This is not my first piece anyway. This is actually like my 40th. I have a whole bunch of pieces elsewhere. All of them dried, some given away, some of them sold. I just do this for fun, not necessarily for the payment of it. I just wanted to pick up my hand at it, see if I could do it. I am nowhere near as good as other people, especially the people who do this in New York, and I do not do the Skyline with it. So I want to give a disclaimer there right now, is I don't do the Skyline because I haven't learned how yet, but I'm working on it. I'm actually working with the mountain ranges right now, and I'll show that in another video eventually. But for now, these are just planetaries, and I noticed that a lot of my paint in this moment right here is coming through from the bottom. I actually wanted to put a paper down, but I didn't like it after I saw how the paint was coming through, so it's a very indecisive thing. But I even realized at this moment, I was like, wait, I didn't add any other color, and it's just going to look like the planet. And the planet looking just like its moon is a little strange to me. But after having picked it up, I noticed some of the paint was gone, so I had to very carefully replace it for that moon. And I know my sizes are a little odd the way I've chosen it, but it's the best I could do. They actually do come out really good in the end. I haven't had any complaints so far. This is where it gets interesting because I've stopped having all the planets now. I'm finished with making them, and I continue on to make the Milky Way look. A lot of people think Milky Ways are only white. I like to change it up. I usually have a white, but I decided to have a blue basis this time. That's a seafoam blue. As well, I do have to get around the rimming of certain areas, like the biggest pan lid, because it's a ledge rim. So having to get between there and having to get under the lid is sometimes difficult and causes buildup of paint. Luckily, in this picture, it didn't. And my cameraman moving around again. I do have music going in the back room with this because I can never paint without music. Unfortunately, you don't get to hear it because I'm narrating, and this is my first video. And hopefully it's not my last. I am hoping to create a lot more videos after a while. I know there was a small pause between my narrations. I apologize. It's because the video is broken up into 4 pieces and I have to put a narration on each piece apparently. Hopefully I fixed that. But as you see, I'm placing the black highlighting, of course, as the night sky is always black. The cosmos does come together in this portion. I do put coloring in my black because space isn't always perfectly black. As we know, there's nebulas, red, green, blue, all those kind of stuff. Can't always determine where exactly it'll be. I like to use multicolors in my paintings, and they kind of make a little bit of a pop anyway. So I do layers. I did black, red, black, black, yellow, black on one end, and here I just take a little bit of white paint and flick it onto the painting. This creates the star effect that a lot of people think that you have to dab with a paintbrush. No, this is just literally off the tip of my fingers, flick, flick, flick. And it makes it come out really nice. I was in a very starry mood, so it came out really nice. And here's the unveiling. So, planet number 1. A lovely green crisscross color. Strange in my opinion, but a lot of fantasy people love it. A nice little dead planet off to the side, similar to Mars. And yes, he does like to do close-ups. And here is the moon. We had a little bit of green added to. It's like a gas moon. And it's pretty lovely. And you can see a little bit of a yellow nebula beside it. And of course then the gas giant, which actually came out beautiful comparatively. Even the mistakes make it look the best in the world. And that is the finished piece. Didn't want to touch it because it's still pretty much wet, so I try to lift it. I have better tools now, but I have to lift it off of the paper before it sticks so it can go dry properly. And here is the final piece by itself, and that's the way my artwork goes. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you again. Bye!